community. We'll start with Robert.
I got together with a group called ABC, which is Associated Builders and Contractors. They're national, and they provide internships for young kids and adults to get into the trades, because they take in the trades and the skill set out of the high schools and even the colleges for that matter. So trying to find partners and collaborative groups of people who will employ people who might not be employable who get out of prison. As an example, we just got into 26 Illinois state prisons with the Barrio folks, and they have a 50% recidivism issue. So when they get out, they need jobs. That's why I got together with Associated Builders and Contractors. So I would say finding partners who are willing to employ those who others might not want to employ.
This is almost redundant. People recruit and get in the business of selling tickets, creating jobs. Right now, Lonnie, I'm very proud.
Instrumental in helping community residents out of the situation that they're in. The city just recently offered a program where they're selling houses and vacant lots for $1. And a lot of speculators, real estate speculators, are gobbling up these properties, which is fine. But one of the things that ought to happen is that when they come in to gut a house out and rehab it, they ought to hire residents right there in the community to do that. You don't need skilled labor to bring people in to tear down walls and haul away trash. Those are jobs that could go to people right in the community. And once the job is done, once the house is finished, don't charge an exorbitant amount of rent where the people who used to live in that house could no longer afford to live there again. Food markets come into the community all the time. So when they come in, they don't have to bring a staff from across the city. They can hire all the people they need right in that community, at least a percentage of them. And that ought to be part of the basis for letting them come in, that they would make an agreement with the community that they would hire X number of community people who live in the adjacent area to work in the food store. It just makes sense.
Kind of go back to my original conversation about youth programs and take one step further into actual training. You know, I think too many times we get stuck on the college to career path, and we overlook vocational training. We overlook the things that kids may want to do. You know, college is for everybody. It's really expensive. It's, you know, I think I graduated law school in 2007, and the school I graduated with is double tuition, literally double tuition. Wayne State resident since I graduated. Looking back on it, you know, why go with $300,000 debt to make $50,000? It doesn't always make sense. So I think we need to be realistic about what kids and young people are going to do once they leave school, once they leave high school. Are we giving them an opportunity to be fair? Are we giving them a fair opportunity to make a living? Are we expecting them to live up to our expectations and dreams that just aren't realistic when there's a whole host of trades and professions out there that they can really be trained for? And if we're just training for the college track, I think we're missing the boat there, and we're leaving a bunch of kids behind who could have a great life and keep themselves occupied. Back to my original statement of, you know, keep your legs moving, keep going, do something. So that's my perspective on that.
Metal Projects International, where we hired quite a few young engineers and trained them. It is not for children at the time, but mostly for young engineers who just came out of college. So we trained them as engineers in the metals and mining business and encouraged them to work all over the world, and we still have the company. At one time we were exclusive contractor, rather outsourced to the S12 Enron. So they used us to do most of this work all over the world. And ever since they closed up, we just reduced it. But what we did was we continued with, in my own family, that my two grandchildren are from Niqua High School in Naperville. And one is a basketball star, he plays for the varsity team. He's an 18-year-old, 6'5" guy. He gets a lot of young children to come to my daughter's home in Naperville and practices, teaches the children, and they're all under the 10 and 12 years old. He doesn't take anybody about 12 years, below 12 years old children neighborhood children he gets in. The other guy is a 21-year-old football player. He's a 265-pound big guy, plays for Western Michigan football team. And he does the same thing at Kalamazoo, that's where he is, and he does, and I encourage him. I and my wife do support them with monetarily whatever they need. And so we look at the other way is the children in the sports arena. That's more of a focus, and hopefully we can continue that. Thank you.